Hi everyone, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to share with you some key tips that are specific to nutrition to help you lose weight as well as reduce inflammation when you can't work out or when you have to take a break completely from working out, lifting weights and exercising, mainly due to chronic pain. So if you are going through a flare-up, if you're injured, if you're just getting a lot of pain and you feel like every time you're trying to do cardio or exercise that it just makes the pain worse, these tips will really help because I've used them in my healing journey, especially when I was diagnosed with arthritis. I was diagnosed with a very rare spinal arthritis called ankylosing spondylitis, and this was on top of the herniated disc, the sciatica that I was experiencing, and the piriformis syndrome. So I had definitely times where all forms of exercise was just out of the question. I couldn't even move, I couldn't walk properly. So and it was really tough because as someone who is a strength coach and a trainer at that time, it really affected me. Health and fitness has always been one of my passions, so not being able to do those things was really tough. And also, I was really worried that I was going to lose my strength. I spent all of these years working on my fitness, and now I was just going to stop working out and I'll probably lose all of that and go back to square one. So I had to do a lot of research in terms of nutrition and just kind of testing a few different strategies because I did not want to go on diets. The other thing was I was more interested in ways where I could also lower inflammation. So the tips that I'm going to be sharing with you today are just a few of so many others that I'm sharing in my brand new nutrition bundle. So I have created 2 ebooks. The first one is focused on helping you lose weight when you can't exercise, and then the second one includes 45 of my most delicious favorite recipes that I have been having for the past years and that I actually consume on a daily basis. So the link to the bundle is below this video. Make sure to check it out because I have included a ton of tips in there that are so focused on nutrition, and I have been wanting to share these recipes for the longest time, and I had so much fun putting them together for you. Okay, so the very first tip that to help you either stay in shape or lose weight when you can't exercise at the same intensity or just taking a complete break because of chronic pain. The number one thing is actually only eating when I'm hungry, and this was kind of different from the typical eat 5 to 6 meals a day, which I was following before when I was working out. I thought that I had to eat every 3 or 4 hours to keep my metabolism high. But actually, I found so much more benefits when I started to listen to my body more, and I actually gave my digestive system a break. So especially if we're having a late dinner. So what I would do is first thing in the morning, I will have like a cup of ginger tea, maybe a teaspoon of honey with it, raw honey, or I just won't eat for a few hours just to kind of give my digestive system a break and really feel hungry. And it is a form of intermittent fasting, but I'm not really like starving myself. I would usually have dinner around 8 and I will just stop eating then. And then I wake up, I will either make a tea. It really depends on how I'm feeling, but if I'm not feeling hungry, I will wait a few hours. I don't do this every day. Again, if I wake up hungry, I will have something, but if I don't, then I will wait a few hours. And I found that just by doing this, I was able to create a very small caloric deficit, not starving myself at all, but just waiting to actually feel hungry instead of just having snacks all the time and meals all the time. And I started to notice that I was feeling tighter and also lighter, if that makes sense. And also, like, just having that caloric deficit will help you lose weight because that's the goal. Even if you can have like a 300 caloric deficit, if you're trying to lose weight, that will be enough in the long run. It is much better than going on a very strict diet where you're restricting a lot of calories and then you're gonna end up with just feeling really hungry and starving at the end. And then you will start to crave all of these foods, and then it will always end up with a binge or you gaining all the way back. Anti-inflammatory nutrition also helps me so much, and mainly that's just kind of focusing on foods that have been scientifically that have been shown scientifically to reduce inflammation. I absolutely love making green smoothies with ginger and turmeric, but I also love making stews with a ton of vegetables. I add ginger, and I also focus on reducing starches. I have found that when I'm adding protein and then I'm adding colorful vegetables like squash and zucchini and carrots and things like that, and actually reducing things like white rice, white bread, pasta, so I am able to feel full and satisfied. I had to go through a very strict elimination diet for 5 weeks to figure out which foods were triggering inflammation in my body. So if you are up to something like that, I will leave some resources below for you, but you don't have to do that, because I feel like the majority of people who go through these elimination diets, they kind of figure out that it is kind of the same foods that trigger inflammation. And for people specifically who have chronic arthritis, going through a low starch diet has helped a lot of people. So it's just something to keep in mind. Instead of thinking about cutting out things, think about adding more things. So instead of having rice, see how you can add more vegetables. Maybe you can switch out the type of carbohydrates. So instead of having just white rice, try to have maybe sweet potatoes instead. And one quick thing, the Instant Pot has been so helpful for the last couple of years, because it just makes the food taste so much better, and I found that I can make a lot of stews and I can make so many different things, and for some reason it just makes the food better. The meat is tender and everything, and it cooks everything really well. So maybe something that you can upgrade and add to your kitchen. And I do want to say here that it's not like I never eat carbs or white carbs. I do have the occasional treats. I am not about deprivation. I honestly feel like if you're trying to not have something for so long, you're just gonna cave in at one point, and it's just not sustainable. So it's all about staying sustainable and thinking about having good nutrition 80% of the time and allowing a little bit in once in a while. And again, I have a ton of examples of recipes that I make for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even snacks. I want to talk about eating out and ordering out. I have noticed so many times that restaurants, they will add sugar to certain foods like white rice just to make it taste better. So when I'm eating out, I'm always on the conservative side. So I would always opt for a salad with a side protein, something that looks simple. And if I want to try something, of course I will, but we don't eat out more than maybe once a week. I try to not eat out as much as I can, but of course you want to sometimes just go out to a restaurant and enjoy time with your family. I have also included in this bundle a lot of breakfast ideas, because I feel like a lot of people, they always get breakfast wrong. Like if you're just gonna go ahead and get a bagel or a donut full of sugar, white flour, it's just gonna leave you more hungry, and you're gonna get an energy slump later in the day, and then you're gonna end up snacking more, eating more of that. I absolutely love big breakfasts, but lots of protein and healthy fats to keep you going for hours. So you can have that around 10 or 11 if you're doing intermittent fasting, or you can do that early in the morning if you're going to work and you're not doing IF. And the great thing about the Instant Pot is that you can make a lot of the meals, and then you can just make large quantities and have leftovers for the next day for lunch or dinners. I also absolutely love like making salads with chicken. So I would get a rotisserie chicken or baked chicken, and I will take the meat and I will mix it up, with a salad dressing made of avocado oil mayo, again, healthy fats, avocado, and just make a creamy, high protein meal. And usually I would use the lettuce as just a wrap, or just kind of a bedding of lettuce as a salad. And this is really it's so filling. Like having the healthy fats, you won't even need any carbs. So, and then you can have some carbs later in the day. And by having these good, delicious, tasty meals, you're not gonna feel deprived or have cravings. So that is always the goal, just to not have cravings. And if you do have cravings, make them yourself. Like for example, if you're craving pizza or brownies or cookies, there are ways that you can make healthy cookies at home that are still anti-inflammatory. You can use things like almond flour. You can use sugar alcohols. If you don't like the stevia taste, you can use xylitol or erythritol. things like that to sweeten your bakings, or you can just use raw honey. So just a better quality source of sugar. Make sure to check out the nutrition bundle. I have a ton of tips for you that I don't really get to share much. So I'm really excited that I can get to share with you the nutrition side of things, because nutrition has helped me so much in healing my arthritis and also in staying in shape all this time. So I made so many changes and I feel so much better. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and then you enjoyed this beautiful park with me today. It's just better to come here and make videos than sitting with a white wall behind me.